Now it's official. François Fillon, the candidate who first said he would drop out of the French presidential race if he was put under formal investigation, and then reversed himself, well, he's been handed the Gallic equivalent of an indictment. Yet, on the day, one opinion poll had the one-time frontrunner still within the margin of error for qualifying for the May 7th runoff. This despite a Penelope Gate parliamentary payroll scandal, whose latest revelations include cash back from his daughter for her wedding. So what makes Fillon followers so much like Trump supporters, who shrug off the alleged rule-breaking of their champion? One presidential candidate who faces possible jail time is already unprecedented, but France might in fact have two. There again, Marine Le Pen's creative bookkeeping in no way denting the far-right leader's chances among National Front followers. Now the question is, what do the rest of the French voters think? The era of fake news and frenzied populist politics is also the era of increased transparency. To what standards do citizens hold their politicians in 2017? Today in the France 24 debate, we're asking the question of whether or not political candidates are above the law in this race. With us on the show, Charles Gidovich, municipal councillor from the Paris suburb of Maison Lafitte.
Good evening, François.
Yeah, nice to see you. You're a member of the Les Républicains party and supporter of François Fillon. Aurore Berger, former campaign advisor to Fillon's primary rival, Alain Juppé, and you've changed favorites now. You're with Emmanuel Macron, the independent candidate who's a centrist and former economy minister. And we're also pleased to welcome Frédéric Payet of communication strategists Reputation Squad.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We're going to have a lot of crisis management questions to ask you in a bit. The France 24 debate on Facebook and Twitter, the hashtag F24debate. He won an insurgent campaign in the center-right primaries where François Fillon leapfrogged the former president Nicolas Sarkozy and Prime Minister Juppé, who we just mentioned, two main rivals who'd been indicted in court in the past. Now, with less than 40 days to go till the first round, well, Fillon has joined the club. Andrew Hillier has more.
6 weeks before Election Day, troubles are piling up for François Fillon. French magistrates have now placed the Conservative candidate under formal investigation. He's suspected of misusing public funds by paying his wife, Penelope, and children for jobs, despite a lack of proof they actually did any work. According to several French media outlets, Fillon told judges that the reality of his wife's work was undeniable. Not long after, Fillon was back on the campaign trail.
In this presidential campaign where the bullets fly low, I can tell you while smiling that I'm quite happy to be with real hunters.
Making matters worse, fresh allegations of corruption in Le Parisien newspaper. It accuses two of his children of paying tens of thousands of euros to their parents. They earned the money working as legal assistants for their father, despite questions about how much work they actually did. Marie Fillon earned 46,000 euros between October 2005 and December 2006. She allegedly transferred 33,000 euros of her income into her parents' joint account. According to her lawyer, she was paying her parents back for her wedding that took place in 2006. In January 2007, her brother Charles Fillon started working for his father. He too allegedly started to transfer 30% of his monthly salary into his parents' account. His lawyer claims the money was to cover rent and spending money given to him by his parents. The scandals have been especially hurtful for Fillon, who built his public image as a clean-cut, family-oriented candidate who would slash public spending.
Now, we got to tell you about the timeline of all of this. The latest revelations, the date with the judge, it comes ahead of Friday's deadline for submitting candidacies. Now, there had been a crisis meetings a week ago, which we covered amply. At that point in time, François Fillon, in the end, deciding to stick it out. There was no plan B. In the end, there was no one who challenged him. He's still in the running. Charles Gidovich, do you wish there was another candidate, or are you happy to support François Fillon?
No, I'm really happy to support François Fillon today. I think that the power of the program is stronger than the affairs. We have today a great candidate, and there is, for the French citizens, 3 different programs. You have one program supported by Emmanuel Macron, which is bouncing from the right to the left, grabbing some ideas in the centers, and finally giving new expenses and no incomes. You have a far-right candidate, Marine Le Pen, with populist, nationalist ideas, and you have a liberal and fair program, which is supported by François Fillon and his family.
Running as a true conservative, that's why you like him. But he also ran as Mr. Integrity, saying, I've never been indicted. I know it's not an indictment, but he's under formal investigation.
Well, you know, in France, when you're under formal investigation, you're not guilty. So let me also...
Are you confident he's going to beat the rap?
Well, we don't know yet, because all the debate has been confiscated by the affairs for François Fillon, affairs for Marine Le Pen, affairs for Emmanuel Macron also. And next week, there will be the first presidential debate between all the candidates. So we are entering in another campaign, the shock of ideas and the shock of programs, and no more affairs.
You think we're going to be over talking about ethics? Even though they've had those latest revelations, what do you think of that? The kids paying back money to their dad?
Well, who cares, actually? Do we care about François Hollande, hairdresser, being paid 10,000 euro per month? Who cares about all these issues? The most important is the program and the shock confrontation of ideas.
Aurore Berger, do you care?
Of course I care, and I think French people care also. I do agree with Charles Vadinovich when he just said that the debate was confiscated because of the affairs. But the affairs are all linked to a man that styled himself as Mr. Clean, as Mr. Integrity, and definitely is not. Of course, is not guilty at the moment, and we have to think that the justice will do its work. And when you go on meetings, François Fillon meetings, and when he asks the people in the meetings to scream against justice, I don't know if you can be a president. How could you guarantee tomorrow to have a fair and independent justice if you ask your supporters to scream against justice in your own meetings? I don't want Trump to be elected in France, and I think we need integrity, we need ethics in politics, otherwise we will have Marine Le Pen elected.
This is out of the Trump playbook? Huh?
No. Actually, all the affairs are not on one man. There is an
Of course, every day we discover another affair.
He has been railing against magistrates, saying this is a political witch hunt against me.
Yes, but there is, like, for example, an international NGO called Anticorps, which seized the authority for transparency against Emmanuel Macron,
there is no affair,
saying that there is a difference between what he earned as an international banker and what he declared while he was a minister. So, you know, you have affairs for everyone. Marine Le Pen also have...
So they're all on the same plane?
Yeah,
Marine Le Pen's affairs are put him on the same level as that of Fillon and those around the candidate.
Something really interesting about Fillon affairs is that we're talking about facts which has been held in 2001, 2002. The timing of the justice is really strange.
Is not independent?
No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the timing is really strange.
So you are suggesting that the justice is not independent and that the justice is a political one.
I'm saying that there is today a manhunt against someone, which is François Fillon.
I guess, let me put it this way, Frédéric Paillet, can a candidate for president cry fake news in a crowded race is the question at this point in time?
Well, the thing is, so far...
how far do you get with that?
Well, he's doing pretty well. He hasn't been expelled yet. He's still running for presidency. He still has major supports around him. Some people are leaving, that's true, but many are staying. And there was a major demonstration a few days ago, and nobody thought there would be so many people around him at this unexpected
the
meeting.
rally that took place across from the Eiffel Tower.
Right, exactly. And why is that? Unlike you, I think it's not a question of program. People are not yet that concerned about what the program are saying. With Fillon, for the first time, we have something which hasn't happened for years in France. It's he embodies a specific positioning, political positioning. He is a Christian Democrat, and he is also a quite tough right politician. It's a mix between Christian democracy and what we call in French Bonapartisme. It's a mix
Bonapartism.
Right. It's a mix between economic liberalism and quite tough social positions and on ethics too. And it's true that seen from in Paris inner city, we can say that the man has no chance to be elected. But if we see his supporters, if we listen to them, they are, for the first time, they have someone who is saying what they're feeling deep inside. And this, many reporters, many observers, opinion poll specialists do not see that. And this is why he is still around.
So it's do as I say, not as I do?
Well, for the time being, once again, the scandals have not been more important than who he deeply is. And this is why he keeps so many supports around him.
All right, with the latest revelations, we're not yet talking about the political platforms of the candidates. We're still talking about ethics. Fillon refusing to answer the magistrate's questions Tuesday. Instead, he came with a prepared statement, which he read out. He denied all in that statement. The candidate took a similar tack when he was quizzed on breakfast radio.
This is a presidential campaign. The vote is in 39 days. From now on, you can ask my lawyer your legal questions. I will only answer questions related to my political program.
Answer questions related to my political program. Is that going to work?
It's a talisman. It's just like in a kind of Harry Potter, like the cloak of invisibility. And it works. So far, it's been working.
It works with his base.
Yes. Isn't it very important?
Does it work enough to put him...
Well, so far it does.
We have to explain to viewers that you have the first two past the post in the presidential race. So you have to get to number two, no matter what happens.
And if you look at the polls, there is, for François Fillon, a threshold at 19 to 20%. He stepped down in the polls after the affairs. He was leading. He was the leader of the polls with 26 to 27%. And now Macron and Marine Le Pen are tied for the first place. But I think that we are entering another momentum, and this momentum is the momentum of ideas and debate, and this is when the electoral will be crystallized, and this is the moment of ideas and confrontation of programs.
All right, let's talk about the polls, because there's one by the Institute IFOP that's just out a couple of hours ago. Macron on the heels of Marine Le Pen on 26.5%, Macron 25.5%. François Fillon down 0.5% to 18.5%. Now, the Opinionway daily poll barometer published by newspaper Les Echos shows that gap between the third place Fillon and the second place Emmanuel Macron is once again now widening, widening to 6 points. And there is the question now, with again 39 days to go, a 6-point gap. Is it easy to make up?
It's tough, but the electorate is very volatile. It's the first time Emmanuel Macron is running for an election, so we do not exactly know.
It's the same for François Fillon. He's also...
Well, he's been an MP for years.
Yes, but he's running for a presidential election for the first time.
But he knows what an election is, unlike Emmanuel Macron. So we really don't know who is really around Emmanuel Macron.
Oh, Aurore Berger, when we look at the list here, one of the things that comes up consistently in the polling is that the core supporters of François Fillon, the ones that you just heard described by Frédéric Chatillon, mostly loyal to François Fillon. He's got a strong core of supporters. Mm-hmm. The ones that are closer to Emmanuel Macron people like you've come from the center left and the center right, a little more fickle, it seems. Was it a tough decision for you to switch camps, as it were?
Yes, of course it was, because I belong to the same party of Charles Velinovich for about 14 years. So it's not an easy decision to make, but it was an important one, and it was just.
When did you make the decision?
Just
What triggered it?
The primary. I think the primary election from the left and also from the right was not a good solution to help voters for their decision, because during the primary we saw that the parties we have they do not share anything on the right side and on the left side. They have nothing in common regarding Europe, regarding the labor market, regarding big decisions we have to make.
So the primaries expose divisions within the party.
Of course. And just after the primary, we are just told, okay, you have to support the winner. Whatever he just did during the primary, whatever he proposed during the primary. But I disagree with that, because some people said, okay, between Alain Juppé and François Fillon, 80 or 90% of their program are the same. But what matters is the 10% left.
So what's in that 10%?
It's all the societal and social life in France. I totally disagree regarding the François Fillon approach regarding family. I think we have to recognize all families in France, and he disagrees with that. And the supporters that were with him as a Trocadero. There were also during the Mariage pour tous, really.
Again, the demonstrations against gay marriage being legalized.
Yes,
we're going to pick up on these points, because it's important. What is tearing apart both the center left and the center right these days in France? Stay with us. You're watching the France 24 debate.